Welcome to section number 2. In this section, we will create a simple social media strategy for your startup. Specifically, what you will learn is how to identify the right target audience, how to identify the right social media channels. There's so many social media channels out there. There's Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, Instagram, and many more. But which one you should pick and focus on for your startup? And then we will create a simple social media strategy for your business. There are 4 basic questions you need to ask yourself in order to create an effective social media strategy. Question number 1 is, what is your startup or business about? Question number 2 is, who is your ideal target audience? Who will buy from you or who will download your app from the App Store? Question number 3 is, where does your target audience spend most time? Are these younger people using Instagram, or are these older people spending most time on LinkedIn? Question number 4 is, how can you get engagement and traction from your ideal target audience? Now let's go ahead and do a simple exercise to create your first social media strategy. On an Excel sheet or a Google sheet, write down these 4 columns: the what, the who, the where, and the how. In the first what column, write down 4 to 7 bullet points on what is your business about. In column number 2, the who column, write down everything you know about your target audience. You can be as specific as the age range, the city they live in, or anything that you know about your target audience. Write down in that column. In the third column, the where column, write down all the online and offline channels that you think your target audience spend the most time at. And then in the last column, write down all the ideas that you can think of on how to engage with your target audience on the channels that they are at. Here is the social media strategy for 5.0 that we created before we launched. Actually, we created this 6 months before the launch. Now, 5.0 is a food app that helps people find food for $5 or less. So let's look at the what column. So it's a food mobile app. People will find food for $5 or less. It's going to be on iOS and Android both platforms. People will have the ability to change price and radius. And also they will be able to search different food items like pizza or a burger by using keywords. Now let's look at the who column. Who is the ideal target audience for 5.0? So obviously it's the college students and high school students between the ages of 18 and 25, and people on budget, people who do not have a lot of cash. Also people who are looking for deals all the time. Startup founders, because they are always short on cash. And initially, since we were based in Dallas, so our initial target audience was people who live in Dallas. One thing that a lot of people forget is to make sure and target the startup journalist in your local city, because that's how you will get some PR. And we will see some of the best practices and strategies on how to get PR for your startup in other sections. Let's look at the where column now. So if you think about this, most of the college students and high school students spend a lot of time on Facebook, Instagram, on Twitter. On Instagram, they're using hashtags like College Life and their school hashtags like UTD, which stands for University of Texas at Dallas. On Twitter, we found out that they were following our competitors, so companies like Yelp and Grubhub. On Facebook, they were very active on their school pages and on different groups. And then on the offline section, if you think about startup founders and journalists in your local city, these people are very active in different local meetups and also co-working spaces because they go there to network with other people. So this creates a good opportunity to get to know them and build some relationship with them over time. Now let's look at the last column, the how column. How can we engage with the ideal target audience of FIVO? So first thing, obviously, we have to set up accounts on the right social media channels, which are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On Instagram, we have to post images with the same hashtag and comment on their images to get their attention. On Twitter, we can follow our competitors and the fans of our competitors. And then we have to use the same hashtag that they are using to engage with them. And also, in order to really get their attention, we have to be consistent and we have to use images and videos. Then on the offline channels, if we attend the same meetings that startup founders and journalists attend, we can build relationships with them over time. Now, do you guys see this? On one sheet of paper, we can clearly see who is the ideal target audience of FIVO. Where do they spend most of their time, online and offline? And how can we get their attention? In the next lecture, I'm going to share some of the growth hacks I use to do this quickly.